Hello,
Hey,
Leslie.
hey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello, Charito. And
Hello.
the next man, thanks to Leslie, is just joining us. I'm sure Charito will be happy as well to see Dr. Ash again. And Usi will be there. So,
Wow, is Dr. Ash here?
yes, thanks to Leslie,
Yes,
he is
absolutely.
here.
I'm here.
Hello, Dr. Ash.
Hello, Michael. It's lovely to hear your voice again.
And I will switch my camera
Hi,
and
Doctor.
and we will start again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. The next Power of Touch is here to write on the back of a language towards wasteless world. And I am happy to see all the members of the growing family because today's term somehow will resonate as well. And the term today is echo, ECHO. And because Leslie was here first, I would like to ask you, when you hear the term eco, what came first to your mind, please?
Well, the way I know this word is echo.
Echo, yes, correct.
Yes. uh, that's a good word, good question. Echo. What first comes to my mind? I think that it may be the repetition or the returning or the following of universal law, the one of rhythm as example, that we repeat or echo behaviors and thoughts. And some are good and some are not good, depending on your point of view. But the echo of what was always shows up again. The good thing is that if it's something that isn't so good, because it's a law of the universe, there must and always will be its match. So for every low, there is a high. For every experience, there is the echo. We just don't know when the echo will reoccur. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Charito, your turn. When you hear the term echo, what came first to your mind, please?
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I'm having my dinner. I think for me, echo, the first thing that comes to my mind is that it's a reflection of a sound. It's like when you're in a mountain and you shout, there's a sound wave that brings it back to you. Or you are in a cave, there's a field, some wave field that makes the sound goes back to you. That's literally speaking. But also, echo is something you double up on something you believe in, or even if you don't believe in it. Like, uh, I would like to echo, no, re-echo what Leslie is saying because it's so good and I believe in it. So I'll tell other people I'm echoing her thoughts. But it might not be perfect in that sense, but at least the idea is there. So when you say echo, well, the first one is that it's a sound wave. The other one is that it's a reflection of your feeling towards something. So when you say something, I heard something good, I echo it to the others. I re-echo it. I say it again. It's doubling up on that thought or on that issue. So back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Charito. Dr. Ash, your turn. When you heard the term echo, what came first to your mind, please?
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be back on the show. I was very busy, but thank you all for inviting me back again. It's a very interesting word that you've chosen today, Michael. Echo is a word that carries both physical and symbolic meaning. It bridges science, actually, and nature plus human emotion at the same time. In its simplest form, an echo is the reflection of sound waves that return to the listener after bouncing off a surface such as mountains, walls, or large open spaces. Now, this natural phenomena occurs when sound travels through the air, strikes an obstacle, and reflects back with a slight delay, creating the sensation of hearing one's own voice repeated. Echoes are often experienced in valleys, empty halls, or caves where distance and structure allow sound to travel freely. Now, normally, whenever I move house, I find that whenever I enter an empty um, apartment or house or whatever it might be, my voice seems to echo across the whole sphere of the thousands of square feet that I might be actually standing in. So, beyond its scientific definition, echo also holds a powerful metaphorical significance. It represents memory, repetition, and the lingering presence of something that has already happened. Just as a spoken word can return as an echo, human experiences often leave traces that continue to influence thoughts and emotions long after the original moment has passed. In literature and art, of course, echoes symbolize nostalgia, reflection, and the idea that the past continues to shape the present. So the word echo also appears in mythology and storytelling. For example, in Greek mythology, Echo was a nymph cursed to repeat only the last words spoken to her, reflecting themes of voice, identity, and communication. This story adds emotional depth to the concept, suggesting that echoes are not merely sounds, but reminders of connection and longing. Thank you so much again, Michael.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ash, for the deep insight. Usi, the same term for you. What resonates in your head when you hear echo?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Michael, for this opportunity. Echo is a sound we do. For me, echo is a presence. You know, Michael, presence is a foundation of touch. And the touch, in its deepest sense, is not limited to physical. It is emotional, psychological, and even spiritual. It is ability to connect without force, without command, and without conditions. In a world where humans, machine, and ecosystem increasingly interact, touch become a guiding principle. For humans, touch is empathy and awareness. For machine, touch is interaction, feedback. So echo, sometimes we can say, is a feedback. Because when you tell something and the sound is reback, this is echo. And the response, you know, for ecosystems, touch is impact. The way every action leaves a trace. Echo carries one essential quality. I agree with Dr. Ash, connection. Echo gains power only when it touches reality, it touches human lives and choices. It touches the systems we design and the technologies we deploy. So music DJ, when make effect echo, it affects, it touches people, and it touches the natural world that observes the consequence of our decisions. That is how change begins. Before transformation is visible, it is felt. So before understanding is articulated, it is sensed. This is true for people learning and growing, for machine adapting through feedback, and for ecosystem responding to pressure, care. Touch is therefore carry responsibility. What we touch, we influence. What we influence, we share. This is why we must ask deep questions. How does eco touch human dignity and behavior? How does it touch the way machines are designed, governed, and used? And how does it touch the balance and the resilience of the ecosystem that sustain us? If eco does not touch behavior, it remains sealed. If it does not inform design, it becomes noise. And if it does not respect ecological limits, it becomes harm. But when it touches the human heart, guide responsible technology and honor natural system become practice. And when practice is shared, become power. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Usi. The interesting part about your speech, in the microphone there is an echo in your room. So you speak as an echo. It was wonderful, wonderful. Nobody expected it. And you know what is interesting? It was not me who introduced the word. It was a 15 years young man who yesterday said, why not to speak about eco? And in my language, we write the term exactly the same as in English, but it has a very different meaning. In my language, eco is like if the policeman asks someone, a victim or someone, to give him a call when the criminals show up again or something like that. This is eco. Eco me. This is what he said. And I asked many people since yesterday what they think about this. All of them speaking Czech, and not a single one put a match between eco and the way you describe it. First came all the time the Czech meaning. But it is a very interesting because, as I do remember, last time, Leslie, we spoke and you said that the term is like a reflection. It was transformation. And you said it's a reflection. And my question to you, is eco a reflection?
Well, I think that I explained that, and possibly, and Charito did, and so did Dr. Ash and Usi, that echo I can't go with eco because eco for me is ecological. And again, and the way you used it, Michael, eco when eco me back, what you're really saying is reflect back to me, right? Take an action that mimics or mirrors my own, which is perfectly acceptable because all of these definitions and labels are going to, I think what you pointed out, they're going to change in different cultures. Human beings are meaning making machines. The one thing we can't stand is not giving meaning. So I would suspect culturally that is absolutely understandable the way you're describing it. Yet in where I grew up, in my language, it was the reverberation, the reflection of sound, everything that everybody has said. So I don't know how to answer it differently unless I've missed the context, Michael.
You did exactly right, Leslie. And this is why I ask you this question. Thank you for that.
Of
Charito,
course.
you are in a real estate business, and my question to you, I like spaces where there is echo. If you speak there, there is an echo, especially when I sing and so on. Have you ever had a buyer or someone who came to a building and try first to hear the echo of the space?
No, never. When we do the echoes that you're referring to, it's like playing. You're just like a kid. You come inside the room and say it loud, yeah. And then your sound, yeah, let's listen singing in the shower. No, I haven't met anybody who is doing that to test the echo in the room. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Charito. Doctor, as you mentioned, the spaces, the caves, and so on. And did you realize that in the ancient times, many of big buildings like churches and cathedrals and many others has been built in a way to echo the words of the speaker?
Absolutely. I've been listening very carefully to what Leslie had to say, and I must congratulate her for getting me back, literally, and also Sharito and Usi and you, of course. And I wished you all a very happy new year from the beginning. But yes, absolutely. I do believe that echoes actually emanated out of caves initially. In ancient times, the caveman, that was the only abode for him, should I say. And I'll take you into a different sphere where an echo in a classroom is more than a sound bouncing off walls. I've taught in many classrooms, in many universities, after my corporate stint, should I say. And for me, it's a reminder that every word spoken carries presence, energy, and influence. When a teacher's voice travels across the room, it meets desks, windows, books, and attentive or wandering minds. You see, like if you're good at speaking, and if you're good at, should I say, storytelling also, away from the book, then you actually turn people's reflective minds as reflection, as Leslie had described it. It returns the mindset and alters things towards your own recognizable speech. So, this echo can symbolize the way ideas actually linger long after they're introduced in the minds of people. So, in a quiet classroom, even a small sound a pencil dropping, a chair moving, or a whispered question can create a gentle echo. It reveals the physical space itself. High ceilings, like I mentioned before, in empty um, rooms, etc., may stretch sound into soft repetitions, while crowded rooms may actually absorb noise and leave only faint traces of that sound behind. The echo becomes a subtle partner in learning, shaping how clearly students hear and how strongly messages actually resonate. So, metaphorically, Michael, an echo in a classroom represents the lasting impact to me of education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ash. Usi, you are in very close connection to technology. Do you think that AI and technology is helping to echo the human ideas and thoughts?
Thank you, Michael, for this question. This is a good question. Yes, yes. Michael, when we say something echo, we often means any action, idea, or decision returned to us, so it is consequence. So AI is a machine, is a code that obey instruction. So when you ask AI or you discuss something with AI, it reflects with you. It gives you feedback. So it is important to notice the distinction about echo. Echo equal to reflection of sounds, reflection to action, reflection idea. And also echo is equal shared home environment. So we have some three things today, important things: human, machine, AI, and ecosystem. But we shared home. We depend each another. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Usi. All the answers are great. What you deliver as usually. It is quite interesting. I don't know whether you ever tried to hear what the echo answers when you call human, but I did, and it answered the same when you call woman or even when you call man. The echo does not differentiate. It gives the time to time, I think, it gives us the opportunity to think really deep. And it is interesting about echo that usually it reflects back just one word, the end of the sentence. It may help us to deliver our speeches, as mentioned by Dr. Ash, for example, educating others in a way that it resonates, the most important part resonates in the heads after. Leslie, on Irada, are there the same physical principles like on Earth? Meaning, I know you mentioned the people working in caves. So, do these caves deliver echo as well, or they are silent?
Well, the caves have wind tunnels
Okay.
that circulate. But I want to share something about what you just said about the beginning and the end of a sentence. You reminded me of the term ellipse. Now, in a movie, the ellipse is when the opening scene is played again at the end. And when I was learning to write compositions as a girl, I remember that we were told the first sentence in a paragraph opens it up, and then the last sentence repeats it to close it. So, looking at repetition, which is the first law of learning, effectively using the ellipse reminds the reader about what was said initially, because the beginning and the end are the most important parts to remember. The middle is the story, the information, the explanation. So that's what came to mind. And did Charito get the second question? That's been on my mind. Maybe she did and I blanked out. But for me, the echo can be matched with the ellipse. And the ellipse is also the three dots in the middle of the sentence, right? You see a sentence breaks and there's dot, 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 and then it continues, which has you pause or get present, to bring up what Usi mentioned about presence. It brings you back to presence. So that's what I'll share. And thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Charito, have you ever the opportunity to sell or promote some very, very old building, like the what I mentioned, like a church or a chapel or a castle, I don't know, where they are the big rooms built for the balls and so on, or you mainly deal with a new construction and new buildings?
Michael, in my 30 years of real estate as a broker, 30 plus years. The last 16 years, I'm into raw land. So I deal with huge tracts of lands, not houses.
Okay.
So if there's a developer who would come, they would like to develop a new subdivision, that's where I enter. But in the past, when I started, I never had a chance to sell things, houses like that. But there are houses that were old, and those houses, in our country, we don't have big houses here. Only the rich and famous can have mansions. So here in the local level, in the city, our houses are not that huge. But you know what? If we are referring it to the what we talked to the topic of echo, there's still an echo inside, even if it's not huge. You just place in a position where there is a plane. It's like a room. Inside the room, you close it and then you say something. Of course, there's an echo, and you're right. Usually, that's why I'm wondering, Michael, why is it that an echo, when we shout or say something, it starts to fly towards the farthest place, and yet it comes back to us. Only the end word is, like charito. Only hear the two, something like that. So anyway, going back to your question, no, as of 16 or 20 years, I have not. I don't have the opportunity to sell those things. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Charito. Maybe this opportunity will come to you. And as you spoke and explained it, Charito, I realized that in many cities, there is a very special place where the echo is still heard with very strong power. and it is the sewage system, the tunnels under the city, the tunnels which stinks and so on, but these are huge, long, and we can call for them. And I like the idea of eco, as you said, that it still remain in the space. Dr. Ash, do you believe that the lectures you deliver, not only in your classes, but in the rooms, on the way, and so on, that your lectures remained there even after you left in a form of eco?
Yes, thank you for asking that question, Michael. You see, lectures are a traditional and widely used method of teaching and sharing knowledge. Actually, lectures involve a speaker, usually a teacher or an expert, presenting information to an audience in a structured and organized manner. You can't have it spoken randomly the way we might be speaking right now. But lectures are commonly used, of course, in schools, colleges, universities, and professional training programs, which I'm into right now, because they allow one person to deliver information to many learners at the same time. Now, one of the main advantages of my lectures is efficiency. I believe that a lecturer can explain complex topics, provide examples, and guide students through important concepts within a limited time. I'm very particular on timings as such, and therefore my lectures also help learners gain insights from the experience and expertise of the speaker, which whenever I deliver them effectively, they can inspire curiosity, encourage critical thinking. Now that is I'm actually carrying out a master class on the 21st and 22nd on critical thinking towards business growth. And therefore, I introduce new perspectives like that. So now coming back to lectures, they are a challenge, basically, for people like us. And you can't lecture without any knowledge as such. So if they are too long or one-sided, students naturally tend to lose interest. So as a lecturer or as a professor, I have to ensure that my students do not lose interest or become passive listeners. So modern teaching methods often combine lectures with discussions, group activities, or multimedia tools to make learning more interactive and engaging. And of course, technology today, I've got to be absolutely with technology all the time. So that's why I'm into artificial intelligence and all that. So that is how I actually help transform lectures through online classes. And sometimes I actually surprise my students with something new, which they don't know, even though they might be much younger than me. So I leave those reflections, as Leslie has mentioned earlier on, in the minds of people by which they remember me. And I've been teaching for many years now after my corporate stint, as I said before. And a lot of students come back to me with something that I might have said about 10 years back, say. Thank you very much, Michael, for having me on.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ash. Usi, you are the only one from the group who is at the moment in Africa. And I know that a lot of African culture, and it's I will say it's not described, but use music, and in music a lot of use echo. Do you think we can use echo in a way to really in a way that will help us to deliver the wasteless word faster?
Thank you, Michael, for this beautiful question. Yes, we can use echo to build a wasteless word. You know, Michael, when we speak about echo, we are speaking about our shared home. Echo reminds us that nothing exists in isolation. Every action, every desire, every decision touches something beyond it itself. For example, in any ecosystem, there is no true outside. When we release into the system, return to us, sometimes immediately, sometimes over time. In this way, echo is not only about nature, it is about consequence. It is about building wasteless world. It is about dignity. It is about humanity. For human, echo calls for awareness and care. For machine, echo demands responsible design needs. For system, echo requires balance, feedback, and sense. To act with any echo mindset is to understanding that progress without responsibility becomes damage. But progress guided by echo becomes sustainability. You know, our aim to build a wasteless world by systematic waste prevention applicable by industry. So progress guided by echo becomes sustainability, resilience, and continuity. When we say echo, we are really saying this is our home, and how we touch it determines how it responds to us. Thank you, Michael, for this question.
Thank you all. We have 2.5 minutes left. And I have to share with you one of my recent experience just yesterday. I have to clean a cellar of our flat where I moved away from. And there was a lot of memories. And some of them really echoed my life. I saw their images from 1992. I found there my first handheld computer dated 2000. And today in the morning, I was loading a truck, and the young driver who was there with me to put the things on a truck, we touch a game called Tetris, which maybe you know. And it reminds me on this, my computer. And I asked this guy, when you have been born? He said, in the year 2000. And I said, this is exactly the year when I bought my first handheld computer. And I need to explain to him what is handheld computer. But it was like time travel. So I think that echo and using the echo is very similar to time travel. It helps us to understand, and it's very important for critical thinking as well, because maybe we get just the last term, just the last word. But if the critical thinking ability is strong, we can find out what was the whole sentence and the reason for the sentence to be said. So for now, thank you very much for your time. It was a great session again. And I wish you all have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, be human, and leave the echo of your wisdom behind for everyone to follow. See you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Well said indeed.
Bye,
Thank you very
everyone.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Michael
Bye-bye.
and everybody.
Bye-bye.